question one time, how many people will walk up to some of these young cats nowadays and tell them to pull their pants up, stop cursing in front of elders or around children, and not too many responded to that. So when you look at a situation as whereas we're afraid to confront our own teens, then that gives other people a reason to be afraid.
Are
That
you
doesn't-
validating it?
I'm not justifying a shooting. What I'm saying is taking before we even get to that, we have to look at that perspective that we are afraid to address these young kids. I tell a young cat, look, pull your pants up. I don't like it. It's disrespectful to me. Pull it up. But majority of people won't do that. Now I'm 6'5", 230, so it's going to be a little bit something said, but we have to take ownership of the things that we can control, and the cops are going to see us as we allow ourselves to be seen. You know what I mean? Now, going back to whether he's strong-armed something, my personal opinion, 6 shots is just too much. A warning shot should be,
A warning shot goes in the air. That don't go in nobody's flesh.
Right.
I mean, let's be real. You ain't got to shoot somebody with their hands up as a warning.
But I know that you said that you guys were trained to shoot center mass, but
you don't shoot a warning shot.
But isn't that the point of you going to target practice, not to just shoot center mass? Aren't there arms on some of those pictures?
When we shoot, it's center
things
mass.
of that nature. It's just center mass.
And then you got to move a target. That makes it different. But you're not gonna shoot. You'll never have an officer shoot a warning shot, because any bullet you shoot out, that bullet got to come down.
Thank you for calling PUV Radio. Who is this?
This is Phyllis. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham in the building.
Thank you, Phyllis. We appreciate you calling. Alabama. Thank you so much for calling in, Phyllis. What's your take right now? What's going on?
Okay, here's my take. First of all, let me say that on purpose, when I first heard about it, I purposefully didn't want to know the guy's name, the young man that was killed. I didn't want to know his name. I tried to stay as far away from the news as I could because I would become outraged. Okay? But everybody was talking about it. All my friends turned on CNN, listening to it. And so I started reading up on it, and I found out the young man's name and found out what happened from both sides, from the policeman's side and from the witness's side. First of all, let me just say this. I have 3 grandsons. That would outrage to no end. When the Trayvon Martin incident happened, I almost lost. I have such a passion for the brother. I have such, especially the young men. But I don't necessarily agree with the burning and the looting of your own neighborhood. I never understood that.
Right.
And let me just say that I am a product of the early 70s, so I saw the 60s, okay? I saw what happened in the 60s, and I just don't understand why we as African Americans burn our own places where we have to live. Now, some man did say on the news today, I was kind of asleep, I think he was a white guy, and he said that, why are they burning their own places? Businesses won't come, to that area, which irked me because it's not about business. It's about a young man getting killed. But by the same token, every day I live in a neighborhood that's called Press City in Birmingham. Every day in Birmingham, I hear about, and I'm making up a name, Poo Poo and Ray Ray killing each other on a daily basis, and we don't make noise about that. That is what burns me up, because our boys are dying every day at the hands of another brother. But we want to march because this police officer has unjustly killed this guy. I hate it for his parents, but there are a lot of people that have sons that has died unjustly at the hands of another brother. And we as black people need to get it together. I can't tolerate this. And that's my opinion.
No, absolutely.
True stuff.
We're definitely in
True.
agreement with that, 100%. No wrongful death or murder should be, ignored, or anything should be any greater than any other, Loss of a life is a loss of a life, and that should be valued on all levels equally. It's just I think the broader vision or view of all of that is the fact that law enforcement is what we're taught and to believe to be our form of protection and our safe place. So when that's the cause of our murders or our young kids being executed or killed, I think it makes that much more of a big deal. Not by any means, outweighing our own black on black crimes and things that we got going on in our own communities.
Exactly.
But I think at the end of the day, it just becomes a big deal when these are the people we call on to help these situations, and these are the ones that are intentionally taking us out.
I don't tell him.
And that's so scary. Isn't that scary though? Now, like at one point in time, it was great that our kids wanted to be things like lawyers, doctors, police officers, and now it's just like that the optimism of what good comes out of being a police officer has been so.
For me personally, it's a lot of good. Like I said, when I worked in the high schools, and it was kids who might have had drugs on them, and it's easy to just lock them up. But that might push them even further back, and I might say, listen, you need to go and do what you need to do. And to be able to watch a kid walk across the stage, that's rewarding. Being able to talk to a kid who would have went down the wrong path, and you can save. You're not going to save everybody, but being able to reach out to one makes a big difference.
Go. Exactly.
And
each one teach one. You have to, but it's the right people. That's the thing. I think what's got our generation kind of fucked up. Excuse my language, but not really. You know what I'm saying? Is that it's the wrong people in the position of power that are teaching our kids, opposed to the right people. We have some of the wrongest mentors. In place.
Would they be mentors, or would they be people out on the street?
What I'm saying is they take the title of mentors, but they're not playing their position properly. At the end of the day.
That goes back to passion.
Absolutely.
If you really don't have a passion to see things right with the kid, with the next generation, then you don't need to be a mentor. Don't mess with these kids' minds.
Absolutely. Or if you haven't even had your own life experience where you can guide them in a direction of like, don't do this because I did it and this was the outcome. There's a lot of people that can talk at you. You know what I'm saying? But we're living now in a generation where you can talk at these kids all day. They looking at you like, shorty, if you ain't lived or walked that shit, we ain't taking you serious because we know that you're somebody that's just getting a check for what you do, and you really don't care what I become at the end of the day.
And I can tell you, there's more kids out here. There's a lot of kids out here that have experienced a lot more than I would have ever experienced.
Absolutely.
But does that mean that I don't know where they come from, or does that mean that I can't help them?
Right.
No, but in the back of my mind, I'm sitting back saying, y'all grew up in a community that I didn't grow up in, and I don't understand it. But I need to at least help you to the best of my ability, eat day in and day out, to let you see what you can become. Because I've seen kids that have gone the wrong way, and I've seen kids that have gone the right way. And it's now at the point that it was crazy because I hung out at a spot and I ran into a young lady the other week who said, didn't you go to a certain high school you work? She was like, yeah. I said, wow. I said, how old are you? She's like, I'm 22, got a 2-year-old. Doing the right thing. But yet I know it's some kids that came through the court system, I worked that trial while they was on trial for murder, while they was on trial for carjacking, and have gone totally the wrong way. And you can't save them all.
You can't, but it does start somewhere. It starts somewhere, and I think we as the adults, we as the people that are guiding and being the mentors for our youth, we have to take more of a positive. We have to be more cautious of the things that we say and do because they're following us. Whether we choose, we can stand up there. We can
following us. They are watching.
Exactly. So we can preach all day. We can preach about this righteousness and do this and that and all that great shit. But if they see at the end of the day that what we're really doing, if they can see what we're really doing,
right?
And I'm gonna say this. Hold on, real quick. I'm gonna say, excuse me, a lot of adults are scared to address the youth.
Absolutely.
That's
Because
right.
when we grew up, the neighbors,
there's a different level of
would've-
respect
The
now.
neighbors would have said, "Don't let me go tell your mother," or they would have dealt with themselves.
they did.
Nowadays, you say, "Let me go tell." So I don't care. These kids have no respect.
But
for
the parents don't care.
I was getting ready
It's
to say
like-
that
it's
comes
like
from
the
that
parents-
comes.
that's what-
There you go.
that's what get
Absolutely,
back
it
to
comes
the-
from what they're saying
That's
and
what-
what we're
Exactly.
showing
Exactly.
them.
That's what
Exactly.
goes back when I said, look, if you're afraid to tell a young kid to pull his pants up or stop cursing around some, elders or kids, that right there shows the weakness in our community.
Absolutely.
Right.
You
Go
don't
ride
have
the
to,
Metro.
You don't have to be a Superman guy. You don't have to be anything that. And they'll say something to you, but at least if they know that you're coming from them, look, give them a reason why you're saying it.